Taylor's Hall.
They score!
That's it! Yes! 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 The Stars win the Stanley Cup!
Dallas Stars! Dallas Stars!
It's 3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1, and we're going. All right. This here is Ralph Strangis, one of my favorite announcers. And this is the new Breakaway podcast. JJ on the Breakaway is what I'm calling it.
I like it.
You like it?
I like it. JJ
So-
on the Breakaway. Picking a name isn't an easy thing. I'm launching my own podcast April 14th.
Oh, are you?
I think we're going to go with What the Ralph.
What the Ralph?
Do you like it?
that.
What the Ralph? Do you like it?
Yeah.
Done.
That's very Ralph Strangis.
Isn't it? Isn't
Yeah.
it? It's very Ralph Strangis. That's right.
Hey, you were the voice of my early childhood, not childhood, teenage years, so for me
I know,
that's
I
a
know.
compliment.
I'm old. Yeah, I'm old, JJ. I know.
No. You're not old. You're old enough to be my big brother. You're not old.
There you go. Let's go with that. I like that. Okay? All right.
Okay.
All right, little brother. What do you got for me today?
Well, how are you? How have you been? What have you been up to the last few years since?
What a question. I'm well. I'm in the Coachella Valley. I live out in California here. It's beautiful. I got a lot to do. I ride my bicycles. Excuse me. I play golf. I love the area. There's lots of beautiful scenery and hiking and great restaurants. And I'm 2 hours from the beach and 2 hours from Big Bear. And in one day, I can snow ski at Big Bear, hike in Palm Springs, and then go surf at the beach if I could surf, all in one day. It's all that close. So it's a pretty cool place. I live here, and I like that. I've also been getting back into media a bit. I've got my own Substack now, Ralph Stack. So for your fans and friends, please feel free to sign up and subscribe to Ralph Stack. If you do, you'll be entered in a contest. I'm coming to Dallas on April 8th to watch Stars Vancouver in a suite, and people who subscribe are automatically, even free subscribe, are automatically entered to win a pair of tickets to sit with me in the suite on April 8th to see the Canuckies. And it just so happens that Luka Doncic is in town the next night. So I think I'm gonna have a couple of fun nights there at the AAC. I'm pretty much. I really am full-time retired from broadcasting. However, I know the young guy here who calls the Coachella Valley Firebirds. They're the minor league team they're the AHL team for the Seattle Kraken, and his name is Evan Pivnik. He's a nice young guy, and he got sick 4 weeks ago tomorrow. And I got a text at 7 in the morning, hey, you want to come do the hockey game for me? So I did it just because I always say yes. But so I did the Coachella Valley Firebirds and the San Jose Barracuda game 4 weeks ago at Acrisure Arena. And I was slow, and I was, I haven't done it in over 3 years. I hadn't done a game. But it went pretty well, and it was a lot of fun. So, I'm here. I'm going to launch the podcast. I've got the Substack going. My health is pretty good. Life's good, buddy. Life's good. And I watch the occasional Dallas Stars game, and they've got a nice little team this year, and I'm very hopeful about their prospects. That's it, man. You're caught up. Sort of.
So is it easier for you to watch the Stars as a fan now, or does the broadcaster guy in you come out and look at this and go, why did you do this, and that? Or the insider?
I always do that.
I'm
always watching the broadcast. I'm always critiquing the broadcast, no matter if it's Josh and Daryl or, if it's whoever it is on a national level, if it's, Wachusen and whoever, and Bush, or football or baseball or whatever it is. I'm just, since I'm a kid, I've trained myself to watch critically, right? But I am now with so much distance because it's been, let's see, it'll be 10 years next month that I've been gone from the Stars, and that went like this. So, so now, with the distance, it's helping me appreciate things more as a fan. So, like my teams are the Minnesota Vikings. Let's not go there. They drive me friggin' nuts every year. Dallas Stars, the Dallas Mavericks, because I didn't have NBA growing up in Minnesota. The Lakers moved right before I was born, and to Los Angeles, as we know, and then the Timberwolves got there about the same time I was leaving with the Stars to go to Texas. And my baseball team is situational. When I was in Texas, I really enjoyed the Rangers of those years, the Josh Hamilton years. Now I'm in Southern California, and I get to watch the Dodgers every night. And let me tell you, love them or hate them, there's so much talent on that team. Excuse me, they're just so fun to watch that, I'm sort of taken by the Dodgers now. So, so it's kind of fun to just be a fan, but I'm a fan on a different level, right? I'm a fan with a lot of inside knowledge, and so there's always that. I know what goes on behind the curtain, so I try and go like this a lot, because I want to enjoy the game. But like I say, the more distance. There's only two guys on the Stars that were there when I was there, and you know who they are.
Well, I know one. I can name.
You can name both of them. Go ahead.
Can I?
Sure you can.
Razor.
No, players.
Players. Oh, Jamie Benn.
Huh?
Jamie Benn.
Right, and?
Oh, Tyler Seguin.
Yeah, there you go. Seguin and Ben. I used to love to say Seguin to Ben. I'd say Seguin to Ben.
Oh, he gave it to me.
Seguin to Ben. And I wanted to do a T-shirt that just said Seguin to Ben. one word. Seguin to Ben. And, and so I saw Tyler and Jamie in L.A. a few weeks ago. I went when the Stars played the Kings in L.A. I took my niece. She lives in L.A. and that's only 2 hours, right? So I could drive. That's the other cool thing. Like I can drive to L.A. I won't go to Anaheim. I hate that building. I'll go to L.A. and it's a 4-hour drive to Vegas. So I've been to all the Vegas Stars playoff games over the last couple of years. Just driving back and forth. Yeah, so this is a really good part of the country to be in, and there's lots of sports. I go to at least one Dodgers game a year. I want to go to Petco this year. I have never done that in San Diego, and I went to a Vikings-Rams game at SoFi last year, the Thursday night game, not the playoff game. And so, yeah, I mean, I'm still pretty active in the sports world, but more as a fan.
That's awesome, man. That is awesome indeed. And I saw that you were a broadcast consultant.
Yeah, I worked for the Chicago Blackhawks in 2020, 2021. When Pat Foley was retiring, I helped them find a new young broadcaster, Chris Vosters. They screwed it up after I left. The Blackhawks did. And they got scared, and so they hired an old 60-year-old Canadian guy to come in and call it like they were used to hearing it, instead of, moving into new technology and that. I was giving them a guy they could grow with, and I also helped replace some other people there. I hired Kaylee Chelios, Chris Chelios' daughter. She was the last NHL game I broadcast. I did it with me and Kaylee and a woman named Jenna Rose. And Kaylee is fantastic, like so good. And I'm very proud of that hire, and she's still there. I gave them some other options and opportunities. It's hard, like I've always been forward thinking. I've always been looking out like who's the next group, who's coming next, and how should we attack that? NHL ratings continue to dip. What are we going to do about that? Should we continue to have 60-year-old white guys sitting in the chair calling the game the same way they did it 30 years ago? I don't think so. That's not how I would do it. And so I want broadcasters to speak the language of the audiences we don't have yet. The NFL does that very well on all their different platforms, and engage people on different levels, and be ready for this advanced analytic and more sports betting and all of these things, and get people in those chairs that can learn that and help sell it to the fans. And so when you can, like the last 3 years, when I keep looking over my shoulder at the Chicago Blackhawks, it becomes very plain to see I know what I'm doing and they don't. Ask Connor Bedard if he thinks they know what they're doing in Chicago. Right? I mean, I'm serious. Like, they don't. They don't have a fucking clue. And,
right.
Whoops, sorry. And,
no, you're good.
But they don't. They just don't. And so, like how about Seth Jones? I mean, poor guy couldn't get out of there, and now it's probably going to take Florida 2 years to unwind him, just to get him to play. Because he was buried there. That last comment he made about 2 days before he was traded, I don't know if you saw the clip, but it was pretty indicting about what was happening in Chicago, because they said, well, it's a tough year. And he said, tough year? This has been happening to me for 4 years. Like, we've made no progress. And so when I look back on the decisions I made and advise them, the things I advised them to do, I advised them to re-up Eddie Olczyk, and they screwed that up. That should have been the easiest thing they did. And with Eddie, they would have got Nicky. And Nicky, I put Nicky on the air for the first time. Nicky Olczyk, who now works in Utah, I called him. He still has the voicemail if you ask him. And I called him one morning and said, let go of your pecker and grab your pants. It's daylight in the swamps, and you're going on the air in the NHL tonight. My grandpa used to say that. So I had it all teed up for him. I can't, they get stupid on me after I leave. I can't be held responsible for that, JJ.
Don't look at me. I'm just a fan on the outside.
Oh, yeah.
I know
You're just
nothing.
asking the questions. You're just asking the questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, as long as you're on the subject of Chicago, that's actually where I got my first taste of NHL hockey. Can't remember if I told you the first time we talked, but my dad was in the Army when I was a kid, and we were moving from Fort Hood down in Central Texas to Chicago. And so I got to see Eddie the Eagle and all those guys back then.
At the old Chicago Stadium.
Yeah.
At the old stadium.
I didn't even think anything of it. Well, I didn't see him in person on TV.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't think anything of it.
That building was insane. That building was insane. Yeah.
I remember a lot of hype around it, but I couldn't tell you the building to save my life, honestly. That was, 95 that I moved there? And so...
Yeah, the stadium was taken down about that time, I think, the old building was.
For the United Center, right?
If only there were a way to look something like that up quickly. Huh?
I got an iPad right here. You want me to?
Technology existed, JJ. Chicago Stadium.
Ralph's helping me out.
Hang on. 1995. What did I say?
Oh, wow. So as soon as we got to Chicago, that thing was being torn down.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Whoops, where are you now? I got to get back to you here. Where are you? Now that I did that, I've lost you. Hang on.
Uh-oh.
How do I get that back?
I still see you, so we're doing something right.
Something right. Well, let's see. Oh, I know. Maybe this is it. Yeah, that's it. I got it. Okay. All right. Okay, so stadium went down in 1995. Daryl Sutter told me that he went there with a 12-pack of beer, sat in his car in the parking lot, got drunk and cried while he watched the building go down.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah. That place was off the chain every single time.
Dang. So I missed it just barely.
Just barely. Now United Center's a building, the Chicago Stadium was a joint. United Center's a building. See the difference? Yeah.
Yeah, it's all about atmosphere, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Always. Yeah. Yeah.
Man. Okay.
Right.
So, all right, let's see. What else?
It's your show.
Yeah, I know. I'm
I'm
sorry.
running this thing.
What about, did you say you worked for LA too? Is that what I
I
saw on
did in
your
2017 when Bob Miller
2017?
was their play-by-play guy, their long-standing play-by-play guy, Bob Miller, on his last season, and everybody knew it was his last season. They brought in guys he knew to cover some of the dates because he had some health issues. So I got four games. Gary Thorne got 4 games. Chris Cuthbert got 4 games. Jiggs McDonald got a couple of games. I forget. So I did that. My last game was right before All-Star break. I did 4 games, same trip in January or something. I go home on a Wednesday or whatever, right before All-Star break. On Saturday morning, I get a call from their guy, Mike Altieri. He said, hey, Bob Miller had a stroke. Can you meet us in Arizona on Monday? Sure. Yeah, okay. Hey, can you go on with the team to, Dallas? I did a game in Dallas. I did about 30 games. I finished the season for the Kings. And so I've done games on the team level. The Chicago Blackhawks, I did the 1 game to get Kaylee and Jenna on the air. I did, about 2,200 for the Stars. I did about 30 more for the Kings. And then a bunch of freelance for NHL Network and NHL Radio, Westwood One, NBC Radio, and, whoever else would write the checks. So,
The Olympics as well, right?
did the Olympics, did a global series, did the Olympics in Pyeongchang, South Korea.
That's what it was.
Yeah, did the global series in Prague, Berlin, and Switzerland, Lausanne, Switzerland. So I've done games all over the world, and I've had a lot of interesting experiences. And, people always ask me, do you wish you'd have stayed or anything? And no, I don't wish I stayed. It ended really badly, and it should have ended that way, and that wasn't on me. But it ended really badly. And, but I wouldn't give up the last 10 years for anything, JJ. I've met so many interesting people. I've got to spend so much more time with my daughter and other people that I care about. I've had some I would never have been able to do an Olympics. I would never have been able to do a global series. I would never have been able to start a sports media program at the community college here in Palm Springs at College of the Desert. And on and on and on, all these different things. Sometimes you can get, I say this, even good stuck is stuck, right? You can be stuck good. And I was stuck good. I mean, it was good, but I was stuck. I wasn't going anywhere. I wasn't gonna go any higher on any food chain. I wasn't, I was just gonna do the same thing for the rest of my life. And that scared me more than anything else. I just didn't want to do that anymore. And, and then they made it super easy when they got super contentious with the contract. So I said, oh, okay. Yeah. Well, that's that. So I left.
Ooh.
Yeah, what are you going to do? That's the business, kid.
See, now you're bringing out the sports management nerd in me. I'm like, oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. You don't want to do that.
I already got the thing on the wall for sports management back there.
Oh, okay. Well, what are you doing with that?
I'm trying to get into sports media. I don't think I'm doing it the right way, but
well, you're in it. You've got your own podcast, The Breakaway.
Yeah.
JJ.
Uh-oh.
What do you want?
Oh.
You want somebody to pay for it?
What's that?
You want to get paid for it, I suppose.
That'd be nice.
That'd be really nice. Yeah, it'd be really nice.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah.
And, I'm living the dream because I got one of my favorite announcers here, too.
Where?
So, that'd be you, sir.
Oh, me. Oh, okay.
I often tell people whenever I talk about the last interview we did that you're the John Madden of NHL announcing. To me.
Okay. I'll take that as a compliment. Does that mean I got to get a video game now, or
Huh?
Does that mean I got to do Ralph Hockey or something? The video game?
Wait a minute. Is that an option? Can I call some people?
No, I don't know anything about that. I don't want to know anything about that. I got my BNP Paribas hat on. So that was the tennis tournament last week, and the week before here, we have the Indian Wells tennis tournament here, and it was a crazy tournament this year. Mira Andreeva, the 17-year-old Russian, won on the women's side, beating the number one player in the world, Arina Sabalenka, in the final. And then we had, I just saw he lost today, Jack Draper, the Brit, won on the men's side. He beat Carlos Alcaraz in the semi. I saw Carlos's quarterfinal match this year. I love watching Carlos Alcaraz play. And so Draper won the tournament and then just got beat in the second round in Miami. That's how that goes, man. You're going to have good weeks. You're going to have bad weeks. You're going to be tired from the week before. And especially if you win a tournament, you're celebrating and you got a million sponsor things to figure out. And, so commitments, parties, all that shit. So usually if you win one, it's hard to win the next one on that tour. It's like golf, you go from one city to the next. And, if you won last week, it's hard to win this week because you're probably hungover. So, yeah.
That's what the issue is. Okay.
That's what the issue is, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
See, I don't think about that sort of thing. I
No,
never
but
really
that's
crossed my mind.
That's the human side of it, right? Like, I mean, look at, I was just thinking about this. Look at Mira Andreeva, right? A month ago, nobody knew who she was. Then she wins in Dubai. She won the tournament in Dubai 2 weeks before she came to Indian Wells. So now everybody kind of knew who she was. And I didn't get to see her play. I saw her practice, though, on the practice courts. That's almost as much fun. It's such a great event. But so you think about it, when she wins, you look at all the social media stuff. You look at her sponsors. Rolex needs to do something with her. Wilson needs to do something with her. She's got 2-hour photo shoots after the event. She's got, now everybody else who's already eliminated is pissed off, practicing, and already in Miami, and she's got to go have dinner with the Wilson people because, and this stuff happens. And then the next week, now she's 2 days behind everybody else. She's tired, exhausted, emotionally spent from the week before. I don't expect her to, I would say it's probably likely she doesn't go that far in this one. Like what just happened to Draper. This is a guy who who ran over the field at Indian Wells, and now, So people don't get that in sports a lot, that guys are tired. Guys and gals get tired. They're having a bad week. They've got some distractions at home. Their father just died. I mean, all this stuff goes on. And when you're around a team and you see it, you become aware of it. And so when I see people on Twitter or whatever criticizing, oh, Jesus, you just won last week. Well, I'm just, oh, God, like, give them
That's
a break.
why I got off of it.
Well, people are jumping on Mikko Rantanen a little bit too, right? Because he got here and, the stats aren't there yet. But this guy's had a very strange year, right? He opens the year probably thinking he's a Colorado Avalanche, and he will always be a Colorado Avalanche player.
Yeah.
Then something happens in Colorado, and that's a little he said, she said, about is he going to get done, is he not going to get done? And they move him to Carolina. It doesn't look to me like he wanted to be in Carolina, right?
No.
It's Carolina. So he didn't want to be there. So now he gets moved to Dallas. So this is his third team in the last, 5 weeks, right? He's got his family jerked around all over the country. He's got nothing is settled. He's probably living in a hotel or a, corporate housing or something in Dallas. Mm-hmm. It's been an emotional time for him, and now but you don't want him. You don't need him right now. You need him in April, May, and June, and that's what this. And you need him next year, the year after. So people, less than 10 games into his Dallas Stars tenure, what's going on? We're paying this guy all this money. I saw one guy who said, oh crap, it was on Twitter. He said, if I have an 8x12 player, 8 years, 12 million, if I have 100 million, I need him to be 8x12 every night. That's impossible. That doesn't happen. Like, there are stories are legendary about Mario Lemieux turning to guys on the bench going, I don't have it tonight. I don't have it tonight. You know? And that this is just usual stuff. Your third game in 4 nights, you're sleeping in, 4 different beds. This stuff, the human level of sports is something the average person doesn't really get and can't get because they're not in it, they don't see it.
Yeah.
And I think these guys, every time they turn the TV on, their guy is supposed to be, 1,000,000% in, and this is going to be the best game he's ever played. It doesn't work like that. You know yourself every day. People know themselves. They go to work. Some days they're better than other days. Some days they're more productive than other days. Some days things go well. Some days they, whatever, Some days they, begin the morning with a nice little tete-a-tete with their wife in bed, and then they're very happy for the rest of the day. Some guys, get up and their wife gives him a to-do list and a bunch of bills, and he's mad on his way to the office. So, it's just, I always talk about the human level of sports, and I just don't think people quite extend the grace that players deserve, because they do deserve grace, because it's an insane way to make a living.
Truly is. Like, I couldn't do, what was it, 4 games in 3 nights, or that's math is not
3
math
games in
anymore.
4 nights, yeah. 4
Yeah.
games in 6 nights.
4
Let me tell
games,
you,
6 nights.
I used to say, if I'm tired, they got to be exhausted, right?
Uh-huh.
So, like, if you just followed the team, like, let's say they took you on a road trip, they put you on the airplane, and you were on a 4-game and 6-night road trip, and you didn't have to do anything but go to the games. You'd be exhausted when you got home. Even
Yep.
flying on charters, staying in nice hotels, you'd be absolutely spent, because, you get up early. It's a 16-hour day. You get on an airplane right after the game. You fly to a new city. It's 3 in the morning when you get to Calgary. You get up at 8. You go to the rink. And then this goes on and on and on. And you'll be like, wow. And then these guys play every night, a physical sport. Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Truly is.
Yeah. So anyway, that was a nice little sidetrack we did there about the human element of sports, and but I always like bringing that up, because I don't think people are as sensitive to it as maybe they could be.
I don't think people think about it either. There's a Dallas Stars fan group that doesn't really need to be named here that I follow on Facebook. And I've seen people griping about the back-to-back games. And they blame it on one specific player. And then somebody else just piggybacks off of that. It's like, you guys, 2 different towns in 2 nights.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, and listen, let's say he's got the flu.
Yeah.
You got the flu, you stay home, and you're watching TV. He's got the flu. You know how many times I was super sick and did the game anyway? There's nobody to back me up, right? Like, there's nobody, oh, gosh, I'm feeling really bad, I can't come in today. That can't happen in our profession. So,
Right.
Yeah, these guys are tough as nails, but they are human. So, yeah,
They are.
and listen, most fans don't know anything. I'm sorry, JJ, but they're always like, well, if I was getting paid that much money, yeah, well, guess what? You're not.
You're on the couch watching them.
Professional sports, you don't understand it, and it's a whole different deal once you're in it and once you see it. Like I say, I've been around professional sports for about 40 years, and
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah, but so I'm a lot more empathetic to what happens, and fan demands, and the little bit that I got over the years of people being very nice but wanting a piece of me, wanting me to do this, wanting me to sign this, and you got to go to casino night. When these guys come home, so during a regular season for hockey, as we start to wind this down, during a regular season for hockey, I was home about 4 or 5 nights a month without a game. Think about that. 4 or 5 nights a month without a game. Then let's say they put in casino night on you. You're like, oh shit, I got to go to casino night. Then somebody wants you to go give a speech about something someplace. Okay, now I'm down to 3 nights at home with my family during the hockey season. Yeah, I mean, I missed everything. I missed all my daughter's stuff. But in the summer then, I was able to make up for it because we had an off season. So, it's there's a lot of great stuff with it. But it's a job and it's hard. And it's demanding in ways that most people probably can't appreciate. So there you go. So how do you want to close this thing, buddy boy?
You know what? I had a whole list of questions right here, but I think you pretty much answered them. Let me see.
I'm pretty good at it, yeah.
You were awesome.
I know what you want, and I give it to you.
Yes, you do. How did you know?
I got experience, pal.
I hear you have a production company. You started to mention that?
Third period media now. And that's the parent company for Substack, Ralph Stack. A reminder here as we close this up that please register on Ralph Stack. If you register on Ralph Stack as a free subscriber, you get a free entry to join me in a suite to see the Stars play the Canucks April 8th. If you get a paid subscription, you get another free entry. If you write me an email, senselessralph@gmail.com. senselessralph@gmail.com and put in the heading entry. I'll give you a free entry for that too. We've got about 1,500 entries right now. And we're going to have the randomizer drawing on April 1st. And so there'll be 6 lucky winners. We'll get 2 tickets. I'm going to buy all the hot dogs and drinks. I've got special celebrity guests coming through. Perhaps Sports Sturm will be coming through. Tweet Groobs, I think, is coming through. We're going to pick up some more vagabonds around the AAC when I get there, and so it'll be a really fun night. And then I launch my podcast April 14th. So on my YouTube channel, which I think is called Third Period. I think I've got somebody helps me with this stuff. So the technical side of it and all that stuff, I'm not quite versed. But April 14th, our first show is Craig Button to talk about hockey, the former Stars assistant GM, the former Calgary GM. He's on TSN. He's a very bright guy. Megan Chayka from Stathletes. She is probably the number one deep analytics person working around hockey right now. She's going to target some Dallas Stars people and talk about what they might be able to get done in the playoffs offensively. She's already working on a presentation for it. Then we're going to have a show and tell segment every week of all my stuff that I've collected over the years. We're going to have 100 Miles from Hockey, a segment like that, and then we're going to have a special Ralph essay at the end. So it's, I have to put together the show. She gets to put together all the technical stuff. So yeah, it's that's what I'm doing now, and I really enjoy it. And I get to be the guy that isn't working for anybody, that gets to say whatever the hell I want. And that's and you can see I'm saying whatever the hell I want. So read my Substack, follow my Twitter, subscribe, all of that stuff, and Twitter at Ralph Strangis. Instagram I think is also at Ralph Strangis. Maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe it is. Anyway, and that's where you and I chatted again. So thanks for having me, JJ.
Thanks for taking the time, man. I appreciate you and appreciate the help. You're a blessing, man. That's all I can say.
You are as well, my friend. You are as well. Keep the dream alive there, will you, JJ?
Yes, sir. Gonna do my best. Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
Now, did you want me to record something here?
Yeah. I don't know.
Just keep it recording here, and then you can pull it off of this.
Okay. That's what I was just thinking. I don't know how this will work.
You'll figure it out. Let me lay it down here, and then when you play it back, you can re-record it on something else and just clip the cut. And do you want me to do it into the camera too?
Yeah, you can do it however you see the.
Because you might be doing visual too. So you want? Hi. Do you want this one here? Ready? 3, 2, 1. Hi. I used to be Dallas Stars play-by-play man Ralph Strangis. Now, I'm just a huge fan of JJ and the Breakaway right here.
Oh, Oh, thank you.
Let me do another one for safety, okay?
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Hey, you all remember me as Dallas Stars play-by-play man Ralph Strangis. Now, I'm just Ralph, kicking it in the Coachella Valley while I listen to JJ and the Breakaway right here.
Okay, that was better than I ever even thought of. Wow.
I'm really fucking good, man. Come on. What do you want? You got me. You got Ralph Strangis cutting your promos, man.
Dude, it's
Dude.
like having the Undertaker right here. I'm a fan.
Oh,
of
isn't it? Yeah, this is like Elvis writing you a song.
I mean, yeah.
All he's showing you how to use the ropes. So yeah.
I
Okay,
have
my
a feeling you don't believe in all that. I
All
can
right,
see
bud.
What's
Yeah,
that?
that's me. All right, man. Let's see. Uploading. You're doing that. Okay. Will you send me links? Simple links so I can retweet this shit or whatever when you get it up and running.
Yeah, it's gonna be on my YouTube channel. I just created it, so
Oh, cool. Then
yeah.
send me whatever. I'll retweet it. I'll say I was on with my buddy JJ and, check it out. Okay?
Thank you so much.
My man. Take care, bud. Great to see you.
Great to see you too. Thanks
Okay.
again.
How do we do this? Bye? Leave? Leave. How about leave? See you, my friend. Bye, bye.
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 That was Ralph Strangis. What a legend.